Hi, thank you for being here today. As per the introduction, I'm Elisavet. I am the Alliances Director responsible for the relationship with the three hyperscalers in EMEA, AWS, Microsoft, and GCP for Teradate. We are a worldwide provider in the data and analytics and artificial intelligence space. And I would like to share with you the experiences that we have so far by collaborating with these three hyperscalers in the space of artificial intelligence and how this has helped our own business growth. But before going deep into that, I just want to share an example that our Chief Product Officer shared with us lately that really drew my attention in the relation of another example of human ingenuity in history, and how this relates in the development of artificial intelligence, and actually it kind of influenced also our strategy around that. And it is the lamp. So back in 1761, an American inventor noticed that a thin wire can stay electrically charged, but he didn't pay attention to this interesting phenomenon. He didn't continue with that. Now, fast forward in 1802, a British chemist showed his invention where he used anthracized wire, and he noticed that it can produce light. And he thought that he solved the problem of having light at home. Unfortunately, because of problems in electricity, heat, smoke, that was not used broadly, so it led nowhere. And the idea faded out. Later, in 1835, a Scottish inventor used a wire out of platinum, and he noticed that he can produce continuous light, but this idea again failed. Now, in 1880, Edison, that we all know, and a British chemist, Swan, noticed that anthracized wires made out of cotton or paper can produce continuous light, and that was it. That was the important milestone, and light and the lamp, the wired lamp, was created, and it led to a worldwide commercialization. And based on these developments, right, other areas have proceeded as well, as we have seen. Now we have new ways of lighting with the LED lights, but also it led to other technologies like laser and switches and decorative lighting, and even led in the innovation of spaces like televisions and virtual reality, our mobile phones, our smartphones. So this process of the lamp and this innovation led into the innovation for other areas. And it was a process that required a lot of trial and error, and to overcome the risks and the difficulties, and to cross across continent to have what we have today. But fast forward in 2023, why am I referring into lamps? And we don't need JP Morgan to tell us, of course, that generative AI is the most important technological advancement in our days. But we see a lot of commonalities with the development of the lamp. Both of them have the same in the development, the same characteristics. They prove that we can move ahead with innovation and with transformation. And in 5 major areas, we can help, like the lamp and the artificial intelligence, they can overcome the challenges, they can promote innovation, they can fuel other areas of technologies, they can activate other technologies, and also fuel the future. And what future that is with generative AI? Just some big numbers from some big companies after their research for the next 4 years. Only in 2026, Gartner predicts that 100 million people will interact with robocolleagues. And in 2027, 15% of the applications will be developed by AI. So the opportunity is massive for companies like the one that I am in, but also in companies that now enter this space. Is it everything a day in the park? We saw it also in the story of my lamp. This is the same as with artificial intelligence. This is not everything so easy, right? And we saw it already from other presentations too. In a research of Gartner in the second trimester earlier this year, they showed by interviewing executives at various companies that about risks, that the second most common risk identified by executives is the use of generative AI. And a lot of risks we have seen nowadays, right? One of them is poisoning LLMs by malevolent users using prompt engineering to influence AI in a negative way. Another risk is changes in the results that AI shows because of poor quality of data. And sometimes their answers are wrong and they can be funny, or they can be catastrophically wrong. Another risk is the loss or the damage of intellectual property. And because of all these risks, of course, we see that institutions, governments, European Union, very recently the US, they developed the legal framework to protect the common good against these risks. But despite the risks and also the regulations, what we see is that from recent research, again, I'm going back to the numbers, is that the benefit of artificial intelligence will overcome these challenges. Remember, like our little story of the lamp. And LucidWorks, in a recent research that they made with executives in another research, they see that 96% of the executives that they asked, they intend to prioritize generative AI investments. And 93% of them, they are looking into already implementing that in their policies for the next year. So that was the first part of my presentation, and already if I got your interest, you may be wondering why I talk about lamps, the general risks, and the challenges. This is a bit what we faced at Teradate. Now, Teradate is like a 45-year-old company that was big in data warehouses on-prem. And a few years back, we followed the wave of the cloud, and we monetized that with software as a service applications. And there were, of course, new entrants into the game, cloud-native corporations like Salesforce, Workday, etc. We are riding this wave with artificial intelligence again, following the SaaS model. And we see that a lot of ISVs like us follow the same path to monetize what they're doing, to differentiate our products, to provide attractive user experiences to our users, and to penetrate and to create new revenue streams for us. And our companies usually and our customers, what they expect from us in that area of artificial intelligence, and what we see with other ISVs as well, is that these are mature organizations that they are looking to use AI for customer-centric applications and to infuse their products with these policies, to optimize internal operations and also their productivity with DevOps and things like that. And and of course, we checked a little bit what we were focusing also and what we were taking are the various use cases. Now, the various use cases for AI, as we have seen, they can only be limited by imagination, but also by resources. But some commonalities emerge, and we've seen already some today. One of them is to use to implement interfaces with natural languages and to translate natural language into backend query languages like SQL, where users can use complex queries like, can you give me a list of all the incidents that happened yesterday, and this can be executed with ease. Other popular uses, as we saw, are chatbots and a virtual agent assist for customer service and things like that. Another area and another factor that it is common to ISVs like us to evaluate when we implement the products is to spend resources and time to evaluate the different foundation models that we can use. And this is where it comes also to collaboration with the hyperscalers, where they provide all the models that we can use, like GPT of OpenAI, like Claude of Anthropic, and Stability.ai. These are some of the models that we evaluate and that we use. Or some customers develop their own, and they take it against benchmarks like Helm, like Bloomberg GPT that is out in production, and we expect many more customers to use models like that. Another important factor is, of course, security and privacy concerns, because our customers expect from us to treat their data with, within the regulations and respecting also the data of their customers, especially the personal identifiable data, and we don't use them for training or for optimization. Finally, what else? The monetization of these models is quite early, and we see different use cases. And there were some concerns in the beginning, for example, with prototypes and demos coming from OpenAI, that they were free of charge. And now, slowly, we see more and more uses that are being charged. And in the next 12 months, we see that users will be charged more and more for the uses. And also, what we have seen also for our case is that AI presents an opportunity to be able to explore different areas within our customers by providing a more natural interface to exchange between us and our applications and the applications that they have. But how? So then we see that we have three areas that were a major concern for us. It was the choice of the models. It was privacy and security, as well as data strategy, because if the quality of your data cannot be good, then the quality of your AI and your AI products is equally bad. The choice of consumption, the right set of tooling, so that we are not overcharged, and of course, cost optimization. The way that we partner and we made that choice coming forward to develop our AI applications by collaborating with these hyperscalers was because of the flexibility that they provide for the choices of the model. We can even bring our own model or use what they already have available. The different areas and the different pricing and how flexible they are with pricing and how we can scale up and down based on the demand of our customers. And finally, the infrastructure that they provide around the privacy and the security, and of course, on top, we develop our own. Is everything black and white and really good? Not really. That's why we have two teams. We have the product team that designs this strategy and where they go with these hyperscalers, and we have my team that sell with the partner, and then we check for the needs of the customer which one is more valid, because they also provide their own first-party services. Don't get me wrong, we are a frenemy with them. We collaborate, we complement each other in many cases, but our product can be competitive with their own a lot of times. So we find the balance between the customer base, and there is room for all, but these are some details to notice. And with that, thank you very much.
For everything. Thanks a lot. Are there any questions? There are. Great.
You mentioned security and how you secure the data of the customers and the data of customers. How do you address that part?
Sorry?
The security of the data.
Yeah.
How you address that part regarding using AI.
Yeah,
because ChatGPT, let's say, they have a lot of issues regarding security.
Yeah, and we are an American company, but also implementing worldwide. So a lot of times the standards change per country. So that is quite difficult. Actually, security, and we implement, of course, the security on top of our own. But that was actually one of the main reasons that we didn't develop back then our own cloud to provide the services. And we like to collaborate with the hyperscalers because a lot of times their clouds are, based on all the latest standards, and they follow that. But of course, when we develop our solution on top of that, we have to follow the same standardization. But relying on them makes it more easy, to be honest, and faster to bring the product to market.
Great. Any other question? Awesome. And thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.